I'd like to say a very good afternoon to Barbadians wherever you are. Today is the 19th day of June. The time is 12:55 Pacific Standard Time where I am. And I'd like to speak about a subject that I saw um, by another blogger recently relative to ankle bracelets for people involved in criminality in Barbados. Um, Several years ago, um, Sherry Veronica approached this issue relative to sexual predators. And I mean, a lot of what I'm hearing on the landscape now in Barbados has already been laid out there by Sherry Veronica. And here's why I say that these issues have already been approached, and it's pleasant to hear people regurgitate them and talk about them. But here's the situation. Oftentimes, I believe that we look at the messenger and not listen to the message. Let me repeat myself. Not because you didn't hear me, but because it's worth repeating. We look at the messenger without listening to the message. Um, we're looking at criminality from the standpoint now of killings, and I heard this social media creator reference having ankle bracelets for people who commit capital offenses, murder, capital offenses, and um, putting these bracelets, leg monitoring devices on these people. But we have sexual predators, a sexually charged predatorial environment in Barbados that seemingly we are like ostriches. We bury our heads in the sand and pretend that it does not exist until it impacts us. Same thing with murders. Um, when the murder visits you, now it becomes cataclysmically an issue that you embrace. Well, tell your parliamentary representatives, um, constituents, that you need to look at crime from a standpoint of legislative content and judicial enactment so that things can be changed relative to the landscape of criminality in Barbados. Unless that's approached from a vantage point of crime and punishment, then Dodge St. Philip is truly a hotel and not a penal colony, a place meant to reshape the thinking and lessen the recidivism of inmates, of, of convicts. Um, as a Barbadian abroad, living abroad, I am in absolute shock that, it has taken a long time for criminal attorneys, people who are identifiably part of the legal landscape, officers of the court, to be disbarred for thievery and other things when, um, for all intents and purposes, you'll drag somebody up to Dodds or before a magistrate who is hungry and who would have stolen um, a can of corned beef to feed themselves. So am amazed that people who commit a capital offense and are remanded find themselves with bail or in bailable situations and being able to come back out and commit the same or similar crimes. That tells me that the The judicial process is not given the leg up that it needs by the legislative process, and sentencing guidelines need to be looked at in Barbados. We have a situation in Barbados that is headed towards a judicial and legislative iceberg, and we are all on a Titanic, and is headed towards a colossal failure unless we're able to articulate that a necessitous change should be brought about to solve the problems that plague Barbadians. We need to look at it top to bottom approach holistically to solve the issues of crime in Barbados and to fetch out of the criminal enterprise that now is becoming a criminal industrial complex in Barbados, those criminals who, for whatever reason, feel the need to own Barbados and feel the need to do whatever they want to do against the people of Barbados without any solution at all coming forward from the citizenry. We can't hold government and the Attorney General and Prime Minister, leader of government business, and the rest of the Barbados Labour Party, or anyone in the Democratic Labour Party, for that matter, responsible for this. It is a citizen issue, and the citizens must be voluminously loud um, as it references this issue to bring it to the attention of all who would listen. And this needs to be done fastidiously in order for us to solve these problems that plague Barbados. Um, it will all come to the doorsteps of every Barbadian if we continue to have a callous approach to solving crime in Barbados. It's no feather in anyone's cap for us to have 30 or 40 indiscriminate deaths unnaturally in Barbados. Um, it really hampers what Barbados and Barbadians should be about, which is peaceful living, good living, and uh, very inviting to those who would want to come and visit our shores. I appeal to those of you who may be earshot of what I'm saying to lift up your voices and do what our ancestors would have hoped that we would do. Be like houses in the seas of the unknown as it references criminality and other miscreant type behaviors on our national shore. We must speak out against these things. And my dear friend Sherry has spoken about a national sexual predators registry, which we should be having in our lexicon sociologically as we look at solving the problems um, that have been laid in our books during the period of um, chattel slavery, where a 16-year-old girl can be approached and sexually violated by older persons, um, or 16-year-old male for that matter, who is still in the developmental stage mentally. So we must be able to come to these situations and ask deep questions, but more importantly, demand deeper answers to this issue as it evolves. As it evolves. If Barbados is to be, as it claims to be, punching above its weight, let us punch above our weight with emotional impact and some solid evidence that we are committed to change of the landscape, emotional, physical, um, spiritual. Uh, let's approach these things differently. Um, we need all hands on deck, all ideas welcome. No ostracism, no separation, no invidious distinctions necessary. Let's bring everybody aboard this ship, this enterprise that Barbadians will endeavor to take going forward to come to a solution. Always remembering, dearest brothers and sisters and my beloved people, that the maximum range of an excuse is 0 feet, 0 meters. 0 feet or 0 meters. Maximum range of an excuse. Let us not be wrong as two left shoes, but let us caution ourselves to be on the good foot on these issues. Like our great soul brother James Brown would have said, we need to be stepping on the good foot on this one. Blessings to you. Take good care of yourself and always be strident in what is right. In order to be righteous, brothers and sisters, we must first be right. God bless and take care.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.